Hey guys, I hope you're having a lovely day and just some big old breaking news out of the free state of Florida that I want to talk about today. Something, in my opinion, that could make a big change in the way we as Americans look at concealed carry firearms is happening thanks to the state of Florida right now. So basically, what's going on is Florida lawmakers are introducing legislation to allow people to carry concealed firearms without requiring any kind of government related permit whatsoever, which could make the majority of the United States a permitless carrying area. So basically, constitutional carry, where they're saying that the right of the Constitution is giving you the ability to carry a firearm without requiring any licensure whatsoever through the state level. So it's being introduced by a Republican state representative named Chuck Brannon, and he said in the news conference, "Our right to bear arms, of course, is enshrined in the Second Amendment to the Constitution. The bill that he's going to file continues to advance Second Amendment freedoms through legislation known as constitutional carry." So he kind of followed that up with a little bit more of opinion-based stuff again, where he says, "I believe Floridians have the right to bear arms and protect themselves, their families, and their property without government interference. This bill is a big step to help the average law-abiding citizen to keep from having to go through the hoops to keep from going through the hoops, I can't speak today, of getting a permit from the government to carry their weapons." So he introduced HB 543 on Monday, along with the Florida House Speaker and some other law enforcement officials from the state of Florida who really have been advocating for this for quite a while now. So the legislation, of course, is very polarizing. You've got on one hand, all of the NRA and the firearm lobby who is saying, "Hey, yay, more guns, we're going to sell more, great." And you've got the other side, which is, of course, a little bit more of the liberal variety, where they're saying, hey, that there's no reason that Americans need this, that's why we have police, and so on and so forth. The big argument being made by these Florida politicians are, it makes the area safer because more people will have access to carry firearms, and it kind of falls into that good guy with a gun category, where they're kind of saying, if someone sees something bad going on or they are themselves attacked, what they'll end up doing is being able to pull their firearm and protect whoever it is that may be in trouble or may be causing these problems. So I'm going to bring some interesting viewpoints to this that you may not have thought of before from both directions, because oddly enough, despite being, somewhat on the conservative side and having a leaning much more toward free firearm expression throughout America, I do have some thoughts on it that may be a little bit different than what you'd expect from me. So first off, as much as I like the idea of constitutional carry, and I think it is a good thing and that we absolutely should do constitutional carry, one of the concerns that I personally have, and I think people who would consider constitutional carry should have, would be what we consider lawful use of your firearm in a defensive manner. Where you got a lot of people who are in jail right now because somebody broke into their house, they confronted them, and as the person was running away out of their house, they shot them. Well, that doesn't represent a lawful defensive shot. That represents a defenseless enemy running away, and you shoot him in the back, and then you go to jail. And, we could spend 3 hours sitting here talking about all of the litigation related to that and all of the legality there. I don't think we're going to do that today. I don't think I want to bore everybody that much. So we'll kind of stay pretty clear of that. The big thing that a lot of the people that I talk to about these things find out about me that is a little unusual is I actually think when it comes to assault rifles, and please feel free to post in the comments and tell me what your thoughts are on these laws along with what I'm about to tell you. So my personal thought is, having vast experience with M16s and M4s and now AR-15s and AK-47s and all the other assault rifles that I may or may not own, is I think in order to purchase an assault style weapon, as is the common vernacular right now, I think you should have to take a class. And I think part of that class should be care and maintenance of that weapon, but it should also be what are the limitations and drawbacks along with the benefits of these particular caliber semi-automatic weapons. I have seen from my personal experience some people utilizing AR-15s and some of the other varieties of these weapons that show me that they have no earthly clue what they're shooting at in terms of what that weapon is capable of, or how to maintain and properly secure and take care of that weapon. So you have to have a license to drive a car. You have to have a license to, I don't know, fly a helicopter. So I really think, honestly, that we would see a lot more benefit to the community of people who like to carry firearms if it required a class in order to purchase one of these assault style weapons. So that's maybe a little bit different than what you might see from other people who are gun advocates or believe in Second Amendment rights being more broad and expanded. But if you look at it from a different lens to say, okay, that a lot of people that are buying these weapons are people like me that have a significant amount of experience, but then you're also seeing a lot of people who don't have that experience. And the big benefit there is they own this high capacity magazine semi-automatic weapon that is capable of all manner of shooting techniques. Why not require a little bit of class and a little bit of teaching so that they properly understand how to operate and utilize these weapons? So another big benefit I think you see in terms of opening up the concealed carry to a constitutional level, and this is something I saw at Starbucks, oddly enough, that really kind of bothered me. And I won't say what state I was in or where this happened at, but we're in Starbucks, and a lot of times you see people who are doing open carry, and they're not doing open carry because they feel the desire to keep themselves safe. They're doing open carry because they're interested in making a political statement and making people who don't believe in these same Second Amendment rights uncomfortable. That's part of their whole aim, is just, look at me, I've got an AR-15 on my back and I'm in Starbucks and there's nothing you can do about it. So I'm standing in line at Starbucks, and the guy in front of me has an AR-15, or if you're into weapons, it's an M16A2 style AR-15 with the big fixed stock, thing's about 9 miles long. And not only does he have the magazine in, but the safety's not on. So I'm standing right behind him, just staring at this thing like, locked into, okay, is this thing loaded? Is he gonna, slip on some caramel macchiato and discharge that thing? I mean, what's gonna happen? So I courteously said, hey, by the way, man, just so you know, your weapon is on fire. Like, you need to go ahead and flip that safety on. And he understood, but at the same time, it's, you've got all these different levels of training out there, and you've got people open carrying, and part of the problem there too is if you consider open carry, a lot of the people that you see open carrying, you'll see they have just, a big old Colt Python on their hip. And the thing to understand about that is, if you're going to be involved in a defensive shooting situation, having that big thing on your hip, you just became one of the first targets in the room, as far as I'm concerned, if you're looking at it from a criminal perspective. So there's a lot to unpack when it comes to this, but the big benefit I think that you will see will be a lot more training, in my opinion, moving forward when it comes to people who are interested in doing this constitutional carry. And I like I said, go ahead and throw a comment in the comment section and let me know what you think about this bill and the possibility that we're going to be seeing constitutional carry across the entire United States, minus, I am sure, some places that'll continue to come up with ways to outlaw it and make sure it doesn't happen. But as always, please subscribe to the channel. It will really help me make more content. So thank you guys, and have a great day.